Hey champs, welcome back. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you step by step how to create editable worksheets, checklists, and workbooks using Google Docs. Although Google Docs is a bit cumbersome to use and does not have all the cool, easy to work with features that Apple Pages or InDesign has, anyone with a Gmail address can access Google Docs, and it allows you to create bonus content that is easily shareable and editable, and it's 100% free. So what will you learn? You will learn how to set up, format, and design a basic lead magnet or premium freebie and bonus content for your champion course. You'll learn how to use headers and footers to create custom design elements. You'll learn how to insert and format images, how to add page numbers, how to make your document editable, and you'll learn how to save and share your work with your students. So in this video, we are going to recreate this worksheet here. So let's jump right in. Now, the first thing that we want to do is open up a new Google Doc. And we can come to File, open up New, and then hit Document. And if you don't currently know where to find your Google Docs, you can go here to www.google.com/drive and log in with your Gmail account. And what you're going to do, you're going to enter your Google Drive dashboard. You can click New, and then in the pop-up window, you're going to choose Google Docs to open up a fresh blank canvas. So the first thing that you want to do is name your document. You can always change it later. So we'll just go in and call this Winning Worksheets number 2. Now, before we start designing anything, we want to change our document settings. That's the first thing that we want to do. Then we'll go to File. We're going to go to Page Setup. And if you want your worksheet to read horizontally, then you can choose the landscape option here. If not, the default orientation is always going to be portrait. Next, you want to edit the top and the bottom margins. So you can see your margins are here. And what we want to do is actually change these from 1 inch to 0. And we just want to change the top and the bottom, not the left to right. And this is going to allow us to move objects to the very edge of our document. We'll hit OK. And now you notice that our cursor here is all the way up at the top, and that's what we want. So we have our blank canvas. So let's start adding some text to our cover page. So we can simply type in our text here. And the first thing we want to do is add our title. And we'll type in the title, Create Winning Worksheets. You will want to make sure the font you use is in alignment with your brand fonts and your brand identity. And in this example here, we'll mix it up a bit and we are going to use Playfair Display. I love that font. And then we will begin to add our worksheet content below. So I want to change my font face to Playfair Display, and let's make it bigger, and then let's go ahead and center it. So let's make it really big since it's our title, and then let's go ahead and center it on the page. So the great thing about fonts is that there are so many different fonts, and what they do is they really put a spotlight on areas that you want to emphasize. And when creating your worksheets, what you want to do is try to steer clear of super fancy fonts or script fonts. You want to make sure that your students can read the information and instructions that you're sharing with them. So for the body of your worksheets, always simple fonts work best. Again, if you can, you want to use the same font or a similar font to what you use on your website or your blog. And your worksheet should really be an extension of your branded online course and be in alignment with your overall brand identity. So now as we build out our content, we will want to go back to specific font sizes and types to create consistency throughout our worksheet. So what we can do is we can actually set up these styling shortcuts using what's called paragraph styles. So if I want to set my title text, what I can do is I can head up here to the paragraph style box, and I'm going to want to make sure that the text on my page is highlighted, which it is. And then I want to hit the gray arrow on the right of the title box. So this is the title box. And then I'm going to select update title to match, and it'll update it for you. Okay. And you can do the same for your body text, for your subtitles, and other headings. So what's nice about setting up your styles before you begin adding more content is that you can easily turn any regular text into a certain type of font, color, and size with certain margins and even spacing that you've previously specified with the simple click of a button. So paragraph styles, they make it very, very easy for you to come in and then to save time as you are building out your worksheet. So the first way to create depth and character to your slides is with color. Color gives your course character and personality. And when thinking of colors, you want to choose from colors and designs that are similar or the same as your brand. So you want to think about what colors appear on your website. What colors are you currently using for other product offerings? What colors have you used for your previous worksheets? So you want to make sure that you're keeping the design consistent, because that will let others quickly identify the work as being yours. It will also help you create a cohesive course with the same design elements through and through. So we want to make sure that the fonts are consistent and that they complement each other as well. So I'm always gathering inspiration from other places. It could be from a website or a magazine. If I see a design or a creative color scheme or layout that I like, I'll pin it on Pinterest, or I'll take a picture and then I'll save it in an album on my iPhone. So if you get stuck or you are starting your brand from scratch and you're kind of having a creative brain fart, then here are a few resources that you can check out to really spark that creative design process. So for some really cool color combinations and inspiration, you can check out Color Lovers or Design Seeds. That's the site here. They always have really pretty inspirations, and they always have like a daily dose of inspiration. You can check them out on Instagram as well. Also, you can go to places like Home Depot or Lowe's and get color inspiration as well. And what you can do is you can actually check out the color combinations that they have, play around with their swatches, their paint swatches, and check out the paint swatch books that they have available, because there's always they always have amazing color combinations that you'd never think of on your own. So if you're starting from scratch and you're looking to put together some different color combinations, then if you're out and about and you have a Home Depot in your neighborhood, then it's a great place to get some inspiration as well. And you can also get lots and lots and lots of inspiration from Pinterest, Instagram, and just around in nature. So use what you have access to kind of draw from what you're attracted to and what fits your personality. So you can also add pops of color using geometrical shapes or images and arranging them on your worksheet page, which I'll show you how to do shortly. So to change the color of our text, we're going to highlight the text and we're going to click on the text color box here. And you can choose from one of the predetermined colors, but what I recommend is that you use the same colors that you used in your branded course. So what I want to do is I'll choose a custom blue shade that I use a lot in my own branding, and I'll take the hex code and I can just enter it here. So within this color window, you can actually choose any color that you desire. You can drag your mouse around until you're happy with your color choice. So if you want to use this exact color again in your document, then Google Docs will remember it for you by adding a color square into the color palette below before you finish. And you'll then be able to access it in the color palette along with the other predetermined colors. So let's add a subtitle to our page. We'll add created by a champion course creator. And let's change the color to gray. So a worksheet with plain text is not a winning worksheet at all. It looks a little bit boring. So let's fix that by adding some decorative shape elements and images. So the first thing that we need to do is to add the header or click on the header area. So let's go to Insert. We'll choose Header. And then you see here that a little drop down appeared that says different first page header and footer. And we're going to want to click that. Okay. And I'll explain why in a minute. We're going to hit Insert again. And then we're going to click Drawing. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this drawing canvas to create our drawing or image. So if we want to add an image, we can click the image icon and it will open up the image uploader. And what we can do is we can just drag and drop an image or upload the image by clicking the button here. So I have a folder where I keep all of my stock images, all my stock photos. So what I want to do is actually choose our image. So let's choose this one here. I'm going to hit Open and it'll begin to upload it. Now, if we decide that we don't want this image, what we can do is click the Replace Image button and then upload or drag a new image and it will replace the one here. We'll stick with the one that we have. Now, if we click the image, you can see it puts us in what's called edit mode with the blue boxes around the picture. And we can adjust the size and or position of the image when it's in edit mode. Now, let's say that we want to make the image area smaller or larger. We can crop the image by clicking on the image, hitting this crop image icon here. Then dragging the line box up or down, in or out. Now, if you drag the image without clicking the crop first, it will simply adjust the size of the image, but it doesn't do it proportionally, so it will look out of sorts until you adjust it with the right proportions. Now let's say that we want to add a decorative element in front of our image here. Let's click on Shapes. We'll choose the square. And then let's extend it a bit until we get it how we want it. Okay, and you'll notice that the square is blue. We want it to actually match our brand, so let's go to Color Fill. We're going to go to Custom, and then we will insert or copy and paste the color hex code that we want. And we can change the opacity by adjusting the slider up and down here. So you may notice that there is a dark line around our shape. And in this case, we don't want that line. So what we want to do is we're going to click the shape again and then click Line Color and hit Transparent. And then it disappears. So let's say that we want to center the square in the image on the page. So what we can do is we can select the square and then we're going to drag it towards the center, and then you see a red line will appear, and that lets us know that it's centered on the page. Now remember, we're still in drawing mode. So when we're happy with our image, all we need to do is hit the blue Save and Close button. So you can see the image here, and we want to get rid of this white space around our header image. So we'll click on the image and we will want to choose Wrap Text. And you can see here a box that has the margins. And for this, we don't want a margin, so we're going to click 0. Now we can drag the image by clicking on the blue squares to span the width of the page. Now remember when I told you I'd explain to you a little bit later why we clicked this box here that says different first page header and footer? Now this is going to be our cover page, and as we begin to build out our worksheet, we don't want this same header to automatically fill in our other pages. So we only want it to show up on our cover page. So this is why we click the option different first page header and footer. So now that we have a nice looking cover page, let's go to Insert, then click Page Break. And you'll see here it added a new blank page for us. So let's build out a new section here. So we'll add some text here. Let's type in title text goes here. And now we need to format it. So let's highlight the text and let's change this to heading 1 because we want it big and bold so people can see it. So let's change the font to Play Fair Display so it's in line with our brand. And then let's make it a little bit larger, and we'll change the size to 30. And then let's change the color to our custom color. Let's make it bold, and then we'll make sure that it's centered. So let's say that I want to change the spacing between the letters of my title text. This is called kerning. So the only way to do this in Google Docs is by manually adding spaces within the letters. So you would put your cursor in between the letters and hit the space bar, and then you can see how it spaces everything out. So when you're doing kerning, don't go overboard with this. Letters with too much space between them end up looking a little bit funny, and it will really depend on the font that you're using as well if this is going to look nice. So this is how ours looks when we do it here. So again, this worksheet is looking a little bit plain. This particular page, we need to add some more character to it. So let's add something to the header and the footer. So let's make another rectangle shape to go on the top and the bottom. So let's click on Insert. We're going to go to Header. We're going to hit Insert again and click on Drawing. Let's click on Shapes, and then let's choose the rectangle. And we can edit the color. Okay. We can remove the line around the shape. Make that transparent. And then when we're done, let's center it on the page. And then let's click Save and Close. And we can see it here in the header. So let's do the same thing for the footer. And this time we'll make it a little thinner. And then let's center it on the page. And then once we're done, let's click Save and Close. And then we see it here in the footer section. So let's get rid of our margins on both the header and the footer, and then expand it the length of. And let's say that we wanted to insert another page. You can see here that now it shows up on every page except our cover page. Okay? So let's add some more text to our page. And what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste the text here so you can see how to build out your paragraphs. So let's add some more one-line sentences. So let's say we want to convert this section here into a checklist. We can highlight all of the sentences here and then go to bulleted list. And then we can choose from the selection of decorative styles that we want here. Now there's not a lot of line spacing between these, so let's change that. We can highlight these lines and go to line spacing and change the line spacing here so you can read it a little bit better. So let's say we want to change the color of our check boxes. So we can simply click directly on the check boxes. All of them will be automatically selected or highlighted, and then you can bulk change the color. So let's go back up to color and click on our custom color. And you see now that it's changed. Super simple. So to complete this page, let's add a standalone image. So we can go to Insert, Image, and then we can upload an image from our desktop. Okay, let's choose this image here. Click Open. Okay. So obviously this image is a little large. So let's make it smaller We'll click on it and then just drag it in, drag the corners. And we see here that the image is in line with the text, where the bottom of the image is aligned with our sentence. So let's change this to wrap text, and let's just reposition our image until we get it how we want it. Okay. We want to make sure that it's aligned to the left side margin. And then let's say that we want to change the space or the spacing around the image. So we can adjust the margins up or down to get the spacing that we like. Okay, we'll stick with the quarter margin. So to this point, we've added a few additional pages, and it's always a good idea to number your pages. So to number our pages, what we're going to do is we're going to click on Insert, go to Page Number, and a little pop-up will appear on the right side, and you can choose from one of the 4 style options. So if you don't want a page number on your cover page, you can choose option number 4 here. Okay, and it will leave the cover page or the first page blank. You can change the font to match your brand font. You can also change the size, edit the color, center the number, just like any other text on your page. So once our worksheet is complete, next let's see how things will look when printed. This will help you get a better idea as to whether everything is lined up correctly and it's displaying correctly, making sure that the white space is even and that there's no errors on the page. So go to File, Print, and then it will give you a preview of how your worksheet will look once it prints. You can make any adjustments to any of the items that you need to until it looks clean and nicely aligned. And then to exit from this view, just hit Cancel. So let's say you want to make your worksheet editable for your students, where they can fill in content and answers right from their computer. Now there's 2 ways to do this. So let's say that we want to create a series of questions. So what we can do is we can add them here and then create enough white space between each question for students to write in their answer. Now, one of the great perks when it comes to using Google Docs is that when you share it, your students can come right in and fill in their questions. So for instance, if you're delivering your worksheet in Google Docs, and just side note, you do not want to share the direct link to the document. Instead, you can click the blue share button, this blue share button here. Then click on Advanced Settings. So this will take you to the basic link sharing options. And under who has access, you're going to choose the option anyone with a link can view it. And then you're going to hit save. Then we need to click on the gray button, Can Edit. And in the drop down, we're going to choose Can View. So now anyone with the link can now view it, but they can't edit or alter it in any way. They will actually have to make a copy first, which creates their own duplicate on their drive, and then they can go in and edit it from there. So the link that you want to give your students is the shareable link, not the original document link. So this way, they have to create their own copy of your original document so that they can write in it or edit it however they want. Otherwise, if you do not do this, everyone will be working off your original copy, and it will change every time someone uses it. So the other option is to export your worksheet to a PDF and then use a tool called PDF Escape to make the entire worksheet an editable PDF. So to export your document, we're going to go to File, we're going to go to Print, and then where it says Destination, we're going to change this to Save as PDF. And then we're going to click Save. We're going to give our document a name, and then we're going to hit Save again. Okay, and this is going to save it to your computer. Okay. So we'll open up PDF Escape, and you can log in and create an account if you want to be able to save your PDF files. But for now, we'll use for free. So let's click Choose File. We'll choose our file that we just created. And it's going to upload our PDF to our dashboard. We're going to click this button that says Form Field. And then we're going to choose Text Paragraph. And what this is going to do is going to allow you to write on multiple lines instead of just one. So make sure that you always choose Text Paragraph and then hit Select. Okay, so let's scroll down to the sections that we want to make editable. And then we're going to click and drag your fillable box over the area you want your students to enter their answers. Okay, you want to do this for every section that you want to be editable. Now you see here that we have a checklist. So what we can do is we can go to Form Field, click Checkbox, and then it'll add a checkbox here. Okay, and you can arrange it over your checkbox. Okay. And you want to make sure that before you save this, you just unclick the checkbox so it's not in there. Okay? So once you're done, you can save and download your document by clicking the green button here. So we can check our downloads folder and open up our newly saved PDF. And we can see here that we can type in this box here. And we can type in this one. But we can't type in this section here because we didn't make this section editable. And then for our checklist, we can click the checklist and you see a little check mark appears in our box, but not on these because we didn't add the checkbox there. Okay, so there you go.